Uh, they don't get to keep them when they're done. They have to give them back like a high school team. But then when you get to like Notre Dame or Penn State, it's just tradition. We good? Mic check. Test 1 2. Check check. Hey 1 2. Hello Dermy. Check 1 2. Check 1 check 2. Hey hey go Mavs. 1 2 1 2. Check 1 check 2. Bingo. Jersey. It's the University of Nebraska Omaha ACHA Hockey. Live from Holland Ice at Baxter Arena, the 9th-ranked Omaha Mavericks and the Creighton Blue Jays begin a 2-game series in an ACHA Division III contest. And welcome in, everybody. Nate Obrecht here with our producers, Caden McDermott and Sebastian Cassiopo, as we get set for the final series of the regular season for these Omaha Mavericks, who have been on a tear as of late. Winners of their last 8, Omaha has swept Nebraska, Arkansas on the road, Dordt, and Illinois State since its last technical tie, a shootout win in the Chicago Classic Championship over Purdue. It has been a storybook season for the Mavs, who enter with a record of 24-3 with 2 ties, ranked in the top 10 at number 9 in the most recent ACHA poll that dropped earlier today. And the protagonist of this fairy tale has been Blake Glazer. The freshman out of Kearney, Nebraska, has been a persistent force for the Omaha offense, and he enters play today, leading the country in goals, assists, and points with 37 goals, 38 assists, and a cool 75 points on the year in his 28 games played. It will be his first time facing the Blue Jays, who also call Omaha home, coming from downtown to 67th and Center Streets and bringing a record of 9-5 through just 14 games played this year. It's the last series of the season for Creighton, and it's just the second game of the 2026 calendar year, after kicking off the second semester with a 4-3 loss at Dordt. David Calderon has been the leader for the Blue Jays all season. Calderon enters with 13 games played and 18 goals, 11 assists, and 29 points. With the inter-city rivalry comes extra incentive for these Mavericks and Blue Jays, as the winner of this 2-game set will take the Nebraska Cup to its respective campus here in the River City. We are all but set for face-off, but we'll turn it over to David Olson, our public address announcer. The Star-Spangled Banner, first sung in 1885 at Nebraska native Buffalo Bill Cody's Wild West show. 46 years later, it became the national anthem, and over 150 years later, it is still sung before every sporting event, including this one, between the number 9 Omaha Mavericks and the Creighton Blue Jays. It is this inner-city matchup. It is the 7th meeting between Omaha and Creighton in ACHA play. CU took the first 2 meetings in 2022 and 23. Since then, it has been all Omaha, with 2 wins in 23-24 and a pair of wins last season by scores of 5-3 and 7-4 right here at Holland Ice. Stepping out there in the crease for the Mavericks is Cameron Moore. Moore last played on January 16th against Dordt. He's back between the pipes for the Mavs. He's won his last 8 starts in net A streak that started back on October the 5th as his team has it in the offensive zone, and Charlie Shea gets it to James Shea, who rips a shot for the first attempt for Omaha. Save was made by Joey Bertram, the freshman out of Edina, Minnesota. In net for the 8th game for Creighton this season is Bertram. Bertram last played with the Rochester Grizzlies in the Tier 3 division of the North American Hockey League. His forward, Bebler, takes the puck, loses it at center ice as Kraut wins it back for the Mavs. Shot on, save made by Bertram. Bebler gets it again to center ice, nudged on by Lowndes for the Mavs. Played ahead to Watts, who dumps it in. A minute into this one as Glazer turns the puck over. Calderon, the leading scorer for Creighton, couldn't keep it. Turns it back over to the Omaha leading scorer, Blake Glazer. He's into the offensive zone. Poke check by Anderson. Couldn't clear the zone. Farnsworth dumps it back in. Glazer spins it towards the center. It's intercepted and played out by Chris Brown. Brown carried the puck over the blue line, but offside were the Blue Jays, and we get a whistle a minute and 23 seconds into game one. Last season for the Mavericks, 5-3 and 7-4 victories over these Blue Jays. Of course, they've got a new coach on the bench. That's Chris Clement in his first season as head coach of CU. And Tyler Shermer skates right in front of Clement along that Creighton bench, gives it to Hedquist. Backhand pass looking for Glazer, but it was blocked out front. Great diving stop by Patrick Krosky. Kept in the zone by Beff. Shot save made by Bertram. Cleared up the near side wall. Grabbed there by Krosky, who dumps it in caddy corner. DeSpirito first to touch up for the Mavs. He rings it to the near side. Kept by the Blue Jays. Krosky battling with Chase Mann. Given up, and Omaha plays it out of the zone. Wyatt Wagner, a goal in both games last weekend, shoot off the pad, and Bertram plays it to the corner. Fitch gets it there, flicking it behind the cage. Wagner doing battle with a couple of Blue Jays as we are through 2 minutes and 30 seconds of play here in the 7th all-time meeting between Creighton and Omaha. Wagner has this puck in the corner. Played it behind for Fitch. He tried to center it to Mann. Finally catching up to that one is the sophomore out of Sioux City, Chase Mann. Out to the point to Spirito. Shot on, save made. Whacked at to the point. Beth kicks it down the wall. Wagner played it around behind. Anderson there, but he can't keep it. DeSpirito tried to center. No one was home. Taken out by Swiler. Lifted further for Camden Lai. He turns the puck over to Chase Mann. Mann had 3 goals and 3 assists, including a 2-goal game against the Blue Jays last season. He has dumped the puck in. Creighton's still working to get it out, and they finally clear the defensive zone as Dirk Schneider dumps it right back on. Settled down by Anderson, intercepted by Kraut. Kraut fires wide of the cage. Rebound picked up by James Shea. Omaha couldn't keep possession along the goal line. It's cleared back out to center, where it can be played on by Khoury. Khoury gives it ahead to Wheaton. His shot barely grazes the pads of Cameron Moore, who makes his first stop. Now it's to the point. Shot from Mazzarigo goes wide. Grabbed by Fories, airmailed to center ice. Kicked down by Sieve. Fories is back on the puck. On the attack, shoots it. It ramps off the stick of Sieve and up into the netting, where we get a whistle 4 minutes and 3 seconds into the frame. Omaha, the home team on the scoreboard in this one, will get the last change in all line changes at whistles before faceoffs. This time it's an offensive zone faceoff for the Mavs. In to take it is Austin Tessier. Wins it back to Farnsworth. Shot wide of Bertram. Poked just out of the zone by Lay of the Blue Jays. Dumped back in by Lowndes for Omaha. In his own zone, Seed lifts it all the way down. It's collected by Charlie Lowndes. Lowndes scored once in game 1 last night. He dumps this puck ahead for Tessier. Left in front for Epperson. He couldn't get the shot off. Farnsworth grabs at the point. His shot skips a couple of times and hops over the back of the cage. Sent out to center where it's picked up by Latcher. He's forced off the puck by Charlie Lowndes, the big rig, usually on the blue line. He was standing right at center ice red, and he gets that to Newman. Back to Farnsworth, top of the circles. Farnsworth steers it to Newman. Newman tried to play it across ice, intercepted by Schumacher, and he races ahead. Just before the blue line, he dumps it into the corner. Mason Beff loses it in his skates. Newman can't hang on as a fierce hit from Schumacher frees the puck to Ryan Hedquist's stick. Hedquist sends it sky high to center ice. Quickly dumped back in by the Blue Jays on the attack. Just past 5 minutes gone as Shermer sends this one through his wickets out to center ice. Shots are 6-1 in favor of the Mavericks, who have won their last 8, as a shot gets deflected into the bench area for Creighton in front of head coach Chris Clement with his 9-5 record. Last season, the Blue Jays finished up just 6-1, playing a total of 16 games. They did not factor in to this Nebraska Cup. This is the second season of Nebraska Cup play between Omaha, Creighton, and the University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Omaha beat UNL in its 2 games. Creighton played 4 against the Huskers and beat them in all 4. So this series here will decide the winner of the second Nebraska Cup. Puck freed by Shermer and Glazer. The leading goal scorer in all of ACHA 3. Tries to send one off the back of Bertram. He's taken down, and Bertram covers up. Holding for a whistle as Glazer gets back to his feet and gets an apology there from Charlie Wheaton behind the cage. That's the kind of respect you get when you've been at the top of the ACHA all season long. And as Glazer lines up for the faceoff, he shoots right into the chest of Bertram. Across that script Creighton logo, there in the blue sweaters with white trim on the shoulders and sleeves. 2 stripes along the socks with black breezers for most of these Blue Jays. And Creighton wins the draw straight forward. Christopher Brown plays it ahead to David Calderon. Calderon steers it towards center, and it's covered up by Moore. No shot on. Moore gathering that loose puck and holding for a whistle. Moore with a record of 9 wins. He also played the tie. Actually, he's played the tie against Arizona State way back in the first tournament of the season, the Omaha Showdown, as he gets a toe save there and then a stick one. Tessier brings it back on the attack for Omaha. Tommy Sieve plays Tessier off the puck in the corner. Mann and Tessier dig at that puck. Tessier wins it out for the Mavs. Tried to go back to Mann. Instead, he steers it to the point for Fories. Shot on, blocker save made by Bertram. To the wall it goes, where it's grabbed by Cooper. At center ice, a big hit from Mann. Frees the puck up. It's to the far side. Tessier tries to dance around Kroski. He's pinned up against the bench. Tessier still with that puck between his skates. Now it's worked out to center. Fories quickly back in for the Mavs. On the backhand, wrist one. Deflected away by Seed. He plays it through his legs to center. Grabbed there by Creighton. Settled down by Brown. On further ahead to Swiler. Swiler loses his footing, and the puck races all the way down to the Blue Jays defensive zone. Just past 7 minutes gone here in the first. No score between Omaha and Creighton. Farnsworth working into the offensive zone. The freshman defenseman skates behind the cage. Now looks to the point for Kraut. Kraut fires. Save made. Rebound loose in the slot. James Shea with a whack at it. Now 2. And Bertram covers up. Freezing that one. 7:33 into the first with his 13th save of the period. Bertram made 50 saves in the loss to Dordt, the only other game the Blue Jays have played this semester. As Creighton lost that one 4-3. Charlie Shea gains that puck in the offensive zone, plays it back low for Braden Kraut. Kraut circles the zone once, getting it to Farnsworth. Cross ice pass for Lowndes. Lowndes works in, shoots, and save made by Bertram. Lowndes had a goal in each of the games against Illinois State a week ago, as he's now up to 11 goals and 22 assists in his freshman campaign, coming from the East Coast Wizards in the Eastern Hockey League. He's here with the Mavs, and he gets that puck to Shea. James Shea back to Charlie Shea, backhand shot, another one, and both are stopped by Bertram. Cleared to center ice, but an errant pass looking for Latcher was Curry, but instead it's Omaha looking ahead. Farnsworth shakes past Latcher, works around the cage again. 1-against-4 is Farnsworth. He's now got Kraut with him. Gets it to Kraut off the side of the cage, and Bertram collects the loose puck, holding for a whistle. Bertram with a record of 4-3. He won his first two starts on September 13th and 20th. Made a season-high 54 saves in his first loss to Dordt. And it's been 2-2 in his last 4 appearances in the Creighton cage. DeSpirito steers one right in front of Bertram. It's picked up by the Blue Jay defense. Kroski. Poke checked off of that puck. It's to Sieve. Tommy Sieve holds for a moment in the defensive zone. Long stretch pass looking for David Calderon. His shot goes high above the cage. Played out off the body of Hedquist. Creighton sends it back in shallowly. Bebler can't keep that one in the zone as he finds Kroski at center ice. Pass nearly cut out by Glazer. Bebler's back on it. His pass chopped down by Hedquist. From glove to stick goes Ryan Hedquist. Dances around Sieve. Cross ice to Glazer. His pass tipped out by Kroski. And Creighton clears the zone. Just barely over the blue line as Hedquist chops that one down. Mason Beth lifts it down and on net. Bertram from his chest to Sieve. Sieve sends one screaming through the air. Dirk Schneider collects. Cross ice to Fitch. He can't find Chase Mann. And Mann works ahead, taken down by Kroski as icing will be called. Mann was racing after that one, trying to negate icing. But Kroski with the quick hook. And he will get taken off for that one. I didn't think that the officials had saw that. And they didn't. Kroski tried to put himself in the box and then skated off. As the officials did not call a penalty, but Kroski certainly thought he had drawn one. He skated to the box, but we're 5-on-5 after the icing call on Omaha and no penalty. Mann dumps this one down and on net. Bertram's just going to cover up as we near the midway point of period number 1. Creighton and Omaha halfway through the first, and we're still scoreless. As a shot right off the draw. Bertram covers and holds, giving a little stick jab to Chase Mann as he crashes down on top of the crease. Shots are 18-5 through the first 9 minutes and 53 seconds of play. Those shots are in favor of the men in crimson and black, or this time in the white sweaters with crimson and black striping. As Dirk Schneider sends one right into the trapper of Bertram, who covers up again. 4 more seconds elapse off the clock before another offensive zone draw for Omaha. This time it's won by the Blue Jays, who get it out to center ice. That's the stick blade of Christian Pino as he dumps it in on the offensive attack for Creighton. Loses it there in the corner. Forey sauces one nicely to Chase Mann. Mann working ahead, leaves it behind for Wagner. Wagner couldn't get the shot off. He follows that puck behind the cage. Grabbed by Ethan Cooper. He can't hang on. Wagner through the wickets to Mann. He couldn't center it. And it's grabbed by Cooper off the boards and sent all the way down. As Voorhees goes back to touch up, icing the call against Creighton. They will be unable to change as Omaha gets fresh troops onto the ice. It'll be Tessier with Charlie Shea and Braden Kraut. The offensive line out there for this offensive zone draw for Omaha. The puck has been on this side of the ice with those windows facing out to Exarban Village here in the heart of Omaha for the majority of this 10 minutes of play. Creighton working it down to the western side. They lose it in the offensive zone and on the attack as Omaha plays it out to center. Anderson collects and dumps it down once more. 4 Mavs are back as Creighton finally executes the line change they were prohibited from completing on the icing. Omaha can't collect the puck on the long 2-line pass. Tessier forces a turnover at center and dumps it on. Behind the cage, Sieve looking for Brown. He gets it to Latcher. The captain, Caden Latcher, couldn't collect that pass across from Swiler, and at the point, it's kept in by Lay. Swiler centered again. Latcher got it through his legs, but it's Sieve collecting at the point and dumping it back down low. Latcher's pass out front, intercepted by Beth, and Charlie Shea skates on it for the Mavs. Shea lifts it up. Bertram way out of his crease with Kraut crashing down, is able to get it to Sieve, who banks it to center. 8:08 to go in this one. The first period as Sieve sends it on net. Save made by Moore, his 6th of the contest. Omaha breaks this one out to center. 50-50 puck, and it's won out by Krosky, who delivers a hit, and the whistles blow. That was Barrett Bradley, not initially listed on the lineup tonight, but with the illness to the captain, Troy Hunsaker, who was meant to play in his 76th contest of his ACHA career, he was told to head home by Coach Harrahill in favor of the man about to take this faceoff for Omaha, Barrett Bradley, and he wins it back to the defenseman Lowndes. Bradley picked up an assist in Game 2 of the Creighton series last year. One out front, and Epperson nearly connected with Farnsworth for what would have been a great goal. Instead, it's to the point. Newman dumps it low. Played out to the blue line again, where it's kept in by Farnsworth. His pass couldn't find any Mavs, and it's cleared out by Creighton. Grabbed by Mazzarigo. He works into the offensive zone, but is immediately erased off the puck by Charlie Lowndes. Farnsworth couldn't clear, but 2 errant passes negate each other, and Khoury takes the puck behind the cage. Shot off of Moore, goes out to the point, where it's collected by Krosky. Down to Wheaton. He sent it across ice for David Calderon. Calderon stripped of the puck by Newman. He works it to center ice as far as Epperson, who plays it back to Easton Newman. Newman out of Worthington, Minnesota, works it, and save made by Bertram, who covers up as we had the Minnesota on Minnesota attack of Newman and Bertram. Of course, Easton Newman, sophomore out of Marshall, Minnesota, played for the Worthington Trojans in the Minnesota State High School League. At the same time, Joey Bertram was playing for the Edina Hornets and won a state championship in 2024 with Edina. As Bertram gloves that one down, Voorhees, another Minnesota man, he had the shot there. Voorhees from the Park Wolf Pack. They're in the same class even as Edina. So Voorhees and Bertram very familiar with each other. And they'll have the chance, as Voorhees a junior and Bertram just a freshman, to get well acquainted here in the same city in bitter rivals. One in black and crimson, the other in white and blue. As Shermer takes this in on the attack, Leaves it behind for Glazer. Glazer tried to get it through to Hedquist, intercepted by Anderson. Anderson works the other way for Creighton. Great back check from Tyler Shermer. Forces the puck free at center ice, and he's going to get called for it. Oh, just a pure back check and an excellent stripping of the puck by Tyler Shermer, but he's going to get picked up for that one. Asking Josh Evans just what he did wrong, and we'll wait to see. Holding the call on Shermer, and the Maverick fans here in attendance do not agree with Josh Evans, our official today. But nonetheless, 2 minutes go up on the board, Shermer in the box, and at 13:47 of the first period, Creighton's going to have the first power play opportunity of the game. As UNO's Shermer off for holding at 13:47. You got to watch out for these Mavs on the penalty kill, though. They're not just a bunch that'll lie back in the defensive zone unless you fire all willy-nilly on them. As Creighton ices that puck on the power play, Omaha is got 5 shorthanded goals on the season. And they will have an offensive zone draw here, a minute 45 into this man advantage for Creighton. Creighton, a dismal 17.1% on the power play this year. That's 6 power play goals in 35 total attempts. Omaha on the opposite side, a penalty kill percentage at 87.9%. As they send this puck all the way down, a minute and a half remaining on the penalty to Shermer. Puck skated up by David Calderon. His brother's the backup goalie tonight, Charles Calderon. Pass right into the center. Latcher still on the puck. Rebound, and it's in! Creighton takes the lead on the gift of a power play. And it is the top scorer for the Blue Jays, David Calderon, getting his squad on the board first and on the power play. Just the 7th shot on goal for CU, but the first one behind Cam Moore. Calderon now has that point streak up to 8 straight games with 15 goals and 4 assists in that span. And Omaha takes that puck into the offensive zone. The Blue Jays back on it. Brown loses it to Mason Beth. Glazer can't hang on to it. Mazzarigo loses it at center ice. Hedquist works ahead, 2-on-2 on the rush for the Mavs. He tried to backhand it to Glazer. It skips off of his stick. Shermer keeps it in the zone. Shermer fresh out of the box after that holding call at center ice that gave Creighton its first power play and first goal of the game. Great pass from Beth at center. Hedquist shoots one on, and it's gloved down by Bertram. He'll cover up and hold with Wendy's 4:44 to go in the period. 4 minutes, 44 seconds left in the first frame. Shots are 22-7 in favor of the Omaha Mavericks. The score is 1-0 in favor of the Creighton Blue Jays. And CU wins the draw out to center. Lowndes grabs that one and plays it ahead. It's intercepted by Seath. And he'll work around his own cage. Now skates ahead. Across blue, now red. Banks it off the wall to himself. Tommy Seath, coast to coast, and gets checked off the puck by Chase Mann. Carson Fitch started around the cage. Now leaves it for Lowndes. Pressure from the Blue Jays as Fitch works it to the skates of Mann. He kicks it ahead, but Seath plays it back out. Lai played off the puck with a beautiful body check from Charlie Lowndes. The puck skitters to Carson Fitch's stick. He gets it back to Lowndes. To Fitch once more. Now Mann. The two Sioux Cityites connect as Mann back to Fitch. A shot goes wide. Fitch played it back to the center. It was kicked out of harm's way to the point for Lowndes. Down into the corner. Wagner leaves it for Fitch. Omaha getting it further down to Chase Mann. Intercepted as Tam Swiler has it for a moment. Played into the slot by the Blue Jay defense to Lie, and he dumps it the rest of the way down as CU will go off for a change. 3 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the first period. Farnsworth takes a whack off the hands from Pino, forces the turnover, and Pino centers one right into the stick of Charlie Shea, connects with James Shea, and on the attack of the Mavs, shot into the shin pads of Anderson for Charlie Shea now. Behind the goal line, tried to play it out front. Shea still with it. Loses it to Benji Watts on the goal line. Grabbed by Anderson, and Creighton works ahead. Under 3 minutes to go now is Anderson. Poke checked as he tried to enter the offensive zone. Dirk Schneider to Kraut, and here come the Mavs. Kraut holds, fires, and it's in! Braden Kraut ties this one up with 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in the period. It all started with the defensive play from Noah Dirk Schneider back here on the Mavs blue line. A great poke check freed the puck, and a stretch pass up to Braden Kraut, who toe-dragged it behind the defense, using him as a screen to put that puck past Bertram and tie this one up at 17:20 of the first. Kraut from Dirk Schneider. And here come the Mavs once more. Charlie Shea skates wide, leaves it out front. No one could bang it home. Kraut recently scored his 9th goal of the season, leaves that one behind. Mazzarigo tipped once, played ahead to David Calderon. Through the legs to Bedler. John Biebler sends that one wide. It ramped off of a defensive stick for the Mavs. Pass Sky down to Kraut once more. Kraut has Shea in the middle. He couldn't get the shot off. Bertram covers and holds. We've got 1:55 to go here in the first. And a tie game thanks to the 9th goal of the year for Braden Kraut. Kraut, one of 14 freshmen on this Mavericks squad. Last season was with the Hastings Raiders of the Minnesota High School League and beat the Dinah Hornet, Joey Bertram, high on the blocker's side for the first goal of the game for Omaha. Now driving with it is Austin Tessier out of Airdrie, Alberta, Canada. Came from Midland University, the Division I ACHA Warriors, up in Fremont, Nebraska. He loses the puck at center ice, and it's dumped down by Cooper. Kept in by Latcher. Latcher sends one right into the skates of Tessier. He's back on the puck, gaining his own rebound. Bodied this time by Despirito, and Omaha wins the puck back. 75 seconds to go in the period. Bradley holds up his man. The puck is freed to Tessier. He can't clear the zone. Gets some help from Epperson to do it. Quickly back in. It's dumped by Krosky. Tried to be centered, and Cooper nearly had a shot, but the great defensive play from Barrett Bradley keeps that one from getting on net. Tessier starts ahead for Omaha. Fires it right into the pads of Sieve. Gathers his miss. Tried to find Farnsworth. It's intercepted by Krosky. Long pass knocked down by Glazer. Great stick. Grabbed by Calderon anyway. Shot saved. Rebound chance from Swiler. Couldn't get all that much on it. And the fluttering muffin of a shot is picked up and cleared out by Farnsworth. Under 30 seconds to go now as Farnsworth leaves it behind for Glazer. Pressured right at the blue line, and it's back out to Calderon. 3-on-2 for the Blue Jays as Calderon dances around Lowndes but loses the puck. Back for that one is Ryan Hedquist. Sends it opposite ice to Blake Glazer with under 10 seconds to play. Glazer with 5. Poke check by Sieve. Still on that one as he centers. Couldn't find his man, and the horn sounds here to end period number 1. And we are right back where we started in a 1-1 tie through the first 20 minutes of play. Shots in the first period for the Mavs, 24, and for the Blue Jays, just 8. We will be back with you for period number 2. You are listening to the UNO ACHA Mavericks channel on YouTube. Welcome back to Holland Ice at Baxter Arena. Sebastian Cassiopo, Creighton McDermott, and myself, Nate Obrecht, here with you for period number 2 between the number 9 ranked Omaha Mavericks and the Creighton Blue Jays. Through 20 minutes of play, the score is deadlocked at 1. Creighton opened the scoring about 5.5 minutes left in period 1, and on the power play, David Calderon, sophomore out of Stillwater, Minnesota. He scored his 19th goal of the year, his 30th point as a Blue Jay this season, putting Creighton in front, but just for about 3 minutes as Braden Kraut answered to tie the game up. A wrist shot that burned the freshman Joey Bertram blocker side high, with an assist to Noah Dirkschneider that tied the game at 1 apiece. Shots in the first frame were 24-8 in favor of the men in crimson and black. As David Calderon races down by Cameron Moore's end before the game and gives him some words there. Not sure what was said between the sophomore forward and the sophomore goaltender from opposing teams. As the top line of Shermer, Hedquist, and Blake Glazer for the Mavericks, going right to left across your television, laptop, phone, desktop, or TV, however you're watching us on the UNO ACHA Maverick stream. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll be right back here with the finale and senior night tomorrow at 9:30. Same time as puck drop tonight. That'll be warm-ups at 9:30, and the game will start immediately following. As the puck is behind the cage of Cameron Moore. Moore with 7 stops in the first period. Puck cleared out to center ice in front of him. There on the puck, Cam Forey sends it cross ice. It's picked up by Tommy Sieve for the Blue Jays. Sieve dumps this one in. Stick lifted, and Moore wraps it around the back wall all the way out to the point, kept in by Anderson. Grabbed there by Cam Forey. Junior out of Cottage Grove, Minnesota, plays it to Dirkschneider and on ahead for Glazer. Glazer left it behind. Shermer nor Dirkschneider or Hedquist could catch up with it, and back the other way with a 3-on-1 comes Creighton. Calderon tried to leave it behind for Biebler, but a great body check from Cam Forey. Frees that puck up. No whistles this time on the back check as Glazer gives it from Shermer. Backhand shot from Glazer. Diving stop by Bertram. It's loose and cleared. Great stop from Joey Bertram, already his 24th. As back down low with it goes Austin Tessier. Airdrie, Alberta native, had his pass cut out, and Chris Brown takes it out for Creighton. As far as center ice, then it's won right back by Tessier. Tessier to Wagner and in. Wagner's shot sticked up above the netting as it goes clanging in the rafters like a pinball, and Plinko's down on top of the storage closets here at Holland Ice in the corners. It'll result in an offensive zone draw for Omaha as Austin Tessier works in and wins. Backhanded to center. No one was home. Wagner catches up along the wall to the point for Lowndes. Fired on wide of the cage off the redirect from a Blue Jay on defense. Couple of Mavs working at that one in the corner. One out by Cooper. Lowndes keeps it in and plays it low. Tessier for Wagner to the hash marks and back out for Farnsworth, who fires off the pads of Bertram, and to the wall it goes. Collected and kept in once more. Great keep by the defenseman Lowndes. Played down to Tessier, centered out Loon. Fitch with a backhand drive, and it's blockered to the wall. Kept in Farnsworth. Across the blue line to Lowndes. He rips it into the glove of Bertram, who covers and holds. 2 minutes and 26 seconds into period 2. Omaha with 5 shots through the first 2 and change. Creighton has not put a shot on Cameron Moore here in the early stages of the second. And another offensive zone draw, won by the Mavs. Tipped once and in! Off the skate of a Blue Jay in front, and Rocco DeSpirito has his second goal of the year. Luckiest shot of the night so far goes to Rocco DeSpirito, who sent one on net. It deflected off of a Blue Jay skate in front, and at 2 minutes and 30 seconds into period number 2, DeSpirito has his second of the year to put the Mavericks in front. Go, Josh! As DeSpirito takes the puck right off the face-off. And they give the goal to Shea with an assist to DeSpirito, as Shea must have got a redirect in front as well. The puck is down low again. Cleared out, and Creighton guilty of icing as DeSpirito goes back to touch up. He will get the assist on that one, so the 7th assist of the year for DeSpirito, and the 13th goal of the year for the sophomore out of Kearney, Nebraska, just 2.5 hours west of here. The Charlie Shea calls home as he buries the go-ahead goal in. Shea from DeSpirito, still at 7:30, or 2:30, that didn't change. And another shot off the draw, Hedquist fired, it's off the side of the cage, and Bertram covers with the blocker. Jimmy Shea also picking up an assist off of the face-off draw that he won straight back to DeSpirito. As we get set, another offensive zone draw won by the Mavs. Dirk Schneider's shot off the pads of the defenseman in front to Fories, and he directs it down to Glazer. Glazer works towards the slot, shot in, and it's covered up by Bertram. Knocking that one down with the shoulder right into his gloved hand on the right. And he'll get a face-off to his right. 3 minutes and 13 seconds into period number 2. Omaha has swelled that shot total up 7-0. Our shots through the first 3 minutes of the second. And 1-0 to speak of in the second period as well, coming off the stick blade of Charlie Shea and giving the Mavericks a 1-goal lead. Latcher back in on the attack. Blocker stop on the backhand shot from Latcher. Kept in along the blue line by Anderson. His drive goes wide. That was an on-ice shot, possibly looking for a redirect. He'll take this one at center, this time dumping it on net. Stick to the far wall by Moore. Dirk Schneider hangs on for a sec, then a long two-line pass to Glazer off the wall. Glazer works in, gets it to Hedquist. His shot from a sharp angle, padded easily. Glazer had another try at it. 2 stops for Bertram, and it's cleared out by his defense in front. Anderson works ahead for the Blue Jays. Shoots one through the screen of Fories, and Moore catches that one with his left-handed gloved hand and will hold for a whistle to his left. Well, a feather in the cap of the Blue Jays as Omaha had outscored its opponents 60-21 through the first period of 29 straight contests. Here in the first period of this one, we finished in a 1-1 tie. That just the 5th time all year that Omaha has entered the first period deadlocked. They are now 2-2 as last weekend against ISU. In the sweep, Omaha ended the first tied up. A booming hit there by the Mavs as the puck's still in the offensive zone. Called our own shot blocker save Moore. Touching up on that one is Wyatt Wagner, And a call coming from Jim Casper on Chase Mann. Elbowing is the whistle as Mann skates off the second Mav to the box, first of this period. As Shermer went off in the first period, that was not for holding. It was actually a slash called by Josh Evans. This time it's Mann skating off, got the elbow up there on the hit. As at 4 minutes and 42 seconds, Creighton's going to get its second power play of the game. They're 1 for 1 after entering this season 6 for 35. And they have the puck behind the cage. Latcher couldn't find Anderson. It's pushed forward by Hedquist, but not out. Latcher scoops up the loose puck, top of the zone, dances around Glazer. Latcher works in, shot, shouldered up into the netting by Moore. A big save from the sophomore out of St. Catharines, Ontario, just across the border of the Niagara Falls region. And he puts that one just across the border, up into the netting above the glass, out of the rink, and gets set for a face-off. Calderon wins the draw for the Blue Jays. Sieve plays it down the wall to Latcher. Latcher met by Beth and played out by Hedquist. Ryan Hedquist working ahead. Fires, ramps off the stick of Sieve. Bounces off the top of the glass and out to center. Latcher wins that puck at center ice. Couldn't find Anderson as Hedquist sweeps it right out from him. Almost looking like he took the legs out from him too, but he didn't. Shot on the clearance from Hedquist goes on to Bertram, and Creighton settles this puck down with a minute to go on the power play. Sieve sends it sky high. DeSpirito kicks it to the near wall. Gathers that puck, clears it out. Fitch gains it. 2-on-1 come the Mavs. Fitch and Wagner. Fitch, cross ice for Wagner. He couldn't catch up to the pass. It's loose on the wall, picked up by Calderon. David Calderon the other way. 3-on-2 skate the Blue Jays. Calderon drives wide, circles the cage. Out to the point, Anderson. Can't catch up to that pass. It skips over his stick blade and goes all the way down with 25 seconds to go on the power play. Long pass from Bertram. Freed up to Cooper. Here skates Ethan Cooper. Shot through the wickets of Moore, and it's in. Ethan Cooper ties this one up. The Mavs forgot all about him on the blue line. And Cooper tucks it in to tie it up at 2. Six minutes and 23 seconds into the period on the power play again. As Ethan Cooper, another Edina native, he played for the Junior Gold Hornets. That is his first career goal for the freshman. Had played in 4 games coming into this one. And now in his 5th ACHA game has his first career goal, and it's a huge one to tie up this rivalry at 2 apiece. Back on the attack are the Mavs. Tessier stood right up in the slot. Pino wins it for a second. Played loose to the wall. One out to Lai at center ice. He's quickly brushed off the puck by Fories. Fories right into the grill of Lai. He just says, I'll take that puck from you, and gets it across to Dirk Schneider. Dirk Schneider as far as blue and dumps it down. Bertram banks it off the glass. Fories keeps it in through the wickets of one man, but couldn't get it forward to Dirk Schneider. Lai lost his stick as Tessier and Anderson battle in the corner. Anderson works around his own cage, pivots, and goes back to that safety behind Bertram. Can't get it past James Shea as he keeps it in the zone for a moment. Creighton able to clear it to center, but an errant pass looking for Schuyler, and Omaha dumps it in. Tessier, shaken up as he skated to the bench gingerly, gave Creighton enough time to settle that puck down and play it up ahead. Tam Schuyler to the corner, racing after it. It's won back by Omaha. Lowndes, pressured along the wall, gives up that puck to Pino and wins it right back. The Mavs will try the near side this time with 12 minutes to go in the period. Voorhees lifts it down to the offensive zone, and Bertram there to meet it, leaving it for his defense. Played out by Latcher. Couldn't connect with Biebler, and it's Farnsworth back the other way for the Mavs. From right to left skates Farnsworth for Bradley. Bradley couldn't connect on the give and go, but wins the puck back. Great battle off the puck, and he forced a shot on. Sieve air mails it down, collected by the Mavs defense. Newman can't gain that one cleanly, but icing negated as he must have brushed it by. And as crashing down on that puck was Hedquist, he's taken down. No call there. Farnsworth from the point. His shot blocked on initiation. Back the other way comes Latcher. He takes a drill from Farnsworth. Hedquist can't poke it by Krosky. Kept in once more by Wheaton. Shot turned on off the tip from Krosky. And Moore covers up and holds his 11th save of the game. Just the 5th shot on goal for Creighton this period, but they have recently tied it up thanks to the first career goal for Ethan Cooper. Defensive zone draw won by Omaha, played out to center where it's played back on the attack for Creighton by Anderson. He dumps it and the Mavs gain possession. Farnsworth can't find anyone at center ice. Now he'll work it up, taking it into the offensive zone. Shooting it, blocker save made by Bertram. He takes a hit in the corner. It's freed to Glazer. Glazer tried to go cross ice. It was cut out by Wheaton. He gets a hit from Blake Glazer, not really known for his physical play, much more known on the offensive side with a stick, as Glazer working on that puck. It's freed out to the Mavericks D zone for Hedquist. Hedquist again. In on the attack, blocker save Bertram. Hedquist dances around one man. Glazer delivers another hit. This time to Mazzarigo behind the play, and Anderson takes it ahead. Offside was called alone as Anderson skated in, and the officials saw that, blowing the whistle dead just past the midway point with 9 minutes and 49 seconds to go here in a deadlocked second period. A neutral zone draw about as close as we can get to our camera view here behind the crowd at Holland Ice. We'll be back here for Game 2 and Senior Night tomorrow at 9:30. Still a lot of time left to play in this one as we have just crossed midway, and Omaha just crosses into the offensive zone. Shot from Fitch goes wide, picked up by Mann. He takes it lower, played off of it by Sieve. Wagner tried to find Fitch. Instead, Beth gains it at the point. Shot on, stick save. To the corner it goes. Brown to Watts. Now for Sieve. 3 Creighton players have touched on it along the back wall, and finally it's cleared out. Beth from his own end. Springs Mann ahead. Chase Mann darts around one man, tried to center it, no one was home. Wound up his Despirito. He sends one right off the shin pads of Pino. Gathers his blocked shot, but Creighton able to send it out to center. Mann with 3 goals and 3 assists the last time these two squads met. He's on the ice now and gains the puck at center ice, leaving it for Wagner. Wagner back to Mann. Mann to Wagner once more, and he couldn't get it home as Lai picks that one off in the slot. Krosky out to center. Here come the Blue Jays. 8.5 minutes to go in the second. They can't contain the puck into the offensive zone. Beth sends it far side for Kraut. Kraut got the scoring started for Omaha after they fell into a 1-0 hole. Fitch takes this one and dumps it, but offside the call. And at 8:20, we get a neutral zone draw. Omaha now up to 34 shots in the game, including 10 this period. Creighton, who started off slow in the second, now has 6 shots this period after 8 in the first for 14. Creighton won the draw. Omaha forced a turnover. Here comes Charlie Shea. Shea works low. Sharp angle. Rebound chance was cleared out by the Blue Jays defense. Dirk Schneider barely kept that one good on the offensive line. It's picked off by Krosky. Played up ahead. Kicked to Lie's stick. He couldn't keep it. Threw it out by Forey. Dumped back in by Mazzarigo. And Omaha slows possession down. Long pass ahead. Kraut steers this one towards the net, but it was a high stick. Bertram negates that. Shea to Kraut. Kraut steered one towards the front. It was deflected once, and grabbing that one on the side of the cage is Bertram. He'll hold. Freezing play with 7:38 to go in period 2. Creighton was 0 for 3 on their power play opportunities against Dordt last time out. They are 2 for 2 so far tonight, and racing ahead with this one is Schumacher. Schumacher, 2-on-2. He tried to give that one across to Biebler. No dice is a great stick lift from the Maverick defense, and that was Noah Dirkschneider. And back the other way comes Charlie Shea. Backhand drive. Pad save made by Bertram. To the wall for Kraut. Kraut crunched up along the boards. Shea, from his belly, gets it to James Shea. Slot shot wide. Sent out, but not all the way, is Charlie Shea back on the puck. He's had an aggressive period here, delivering a hit to Mazzarigo. James Shea picks that one up, looking towards the center. Now to the top of the circles. James Shea still on it, and he just turns and fires this one low. To Charlie Shea behind the net. Delayed call coming up on Creighton. Finally, as Calderon touches up, the Blue Jays will skate off to the box. And we'll see who the guilty party is. Mazzarigo appears to be the guilty party for the Blue Jays. Roughing the call on Lucas Mazzarigo at 13:18 of period number 2. Omaha with the puck right off the draw. Lounge to Glazer, and they try to get set up on the first man advantage of the opportunity for the Mavs. Shot tipped by Forey's right in front. He had a pair of goals in game 2 last weekend and a goal in game 1 for 3 against Illinois State a week ago. He's playing forward now as he touches that puck in the corner to Hedquist. Hedquist to the top. Glazer now Lowndes. Takes a shot. Back to Glazer it goes. Glazer rips one into the pads. Not covered. Grabbed by Seed. Chopped down by Shermer once. Seed gains the puck and skates it out to center ice. Over the blue line, 3-on-2 for the Blue Jays on the man at disadvantage. Seed loses that one as he tried to skate it to the net front, and it's played out to center. Anderson decides to clear this one with 70 seconds to go for the Mavs on the man advantage. Lounge for Ryan the Rocket Hedquist. Goes off the boards, chipped by Brown, and Omaha will have to find a new way into the offensive zone. They go by way of Blake Glazer to Lowndes at the blue line. He shoots one, chopped by Shermer, and goes wide. Shermer with a couple of deflection-style goals in Game 1 against ISU when he had 4 points. Glazer taken down in the crease as a shot goes in, covered up, and we will have, as Bertram touches up on this one, a 2-man advantage coming for the Mavericks. Anderson will join Mazzarigo in the Blue Jay penalty box for interference at 14:41. It will be a 2-man advantage for the Mavericks, a 5-on-3 for the next 37 seconds. As Lowndes takes this one to Glazer. This is where you can really open up a game. Glazer back to Lounge. Shot blocked out front by Sieve. Goes behind the cage. Hedquist to Lounge. Glazer looking towards the net. Fakes a shot. Down to 15 seconds. Shermer drives one wide of the cage. Grabbed by Glazer. Loops to the top. 10 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Shot off the blocker of Bertram. Deflected high by Fories. And as Lounge touches this one up, the faceoff will go all the way down to the Maverick defensive zone, basically negating the final 3 seconds of this 5-on-3. Mazarico will be let out of the box. And no, this high-sticking call will come out just to neutral ice. It'll be in front of Coach Harrahill's bench. 2 seconds and 1. 5-on-4 now as Creighton 1 for 1 on the penalty kill. Tessier takes it, fires right into the shins of Sieve. Feeling that one a bit as he's blocked a ton of shots down here through the first 20 minutes of the first and 15 minutes here in the second. Beth hangs on for a second. They're down to a minute left on the second 5-on-4 chance for the Mavs. Fitch leaves it at the blue line for Beth. Fired, rebound loose, and to the corner it goes. The initial stop from Bertram, and two Mavericks battle along the wall. Beth takes it out of the jam. Cross ice for Mann. His shot blocked and goes off the back wall. Wagner turned toward the net front, now out to Beth. Mann crashes down in front. Pass cut out by Latcher, and another penalty upcoming on Creighton. They keep taking these right in front of the cage, and Omaha keeps saying, thank you, we'll have another. Tripping this time the call. As they will have another 30 seconds of 5-on-3 time. Skating to the box this time is Krosky. Said something objectionable to Coach Harrahill as he skated towards the bench. As with 3:49 to go in the period, Omaha gets its second 5-on-3 chance of the game. They'll have another 30 seconds to work with this one as they win the draw back to Chase Mann. Mann to Beth. Now for Tessier, back to Beth. He shoots, loose in front. Fitch couldn't get a second shot on net. It goes to the back wall. Wagner now looking forward off the shin pads of his own man. It bounces out front. Omaha couldn't get it on net. Mann below the goal line. 4 seconds to go on the 5-on-3. Out of the box skates Anderson. Creighton 2 for 2 on the penalty kill. Still a 5-on-4 for a minute 25 as Beth cross ice to Wagner. Wagner top of the zone. Darts forward off the pads of Sieve, who's blocked another one here in the latter stages of the second. Fitch looks, fires wide. Picked up by Beth and played right back to Carson Fitch. For Glazer, who shoots it wide. Kept in for a moment, but an errant pass from Tessier trying to find Mason Beth, and he'll have to retreat to his own zone. Pushing it ahead for Hedquist, now Shermer. Shermer off the blocker of Bertram. His shot goes. 43 seconds to work with on the man advantage for the Mavs, the third chance of the game. Glazer to Hedquist and back again. 2:25 to go in the frame. Back to Hedquist. In front for Shermer. He couldn't get one off. Calderon knocked it down to Sieve. Backhanded out. Looking for Calderon. He sprung free. All alone. Skates Calderon. Shot goes high. Moore might have got a piece of it with the blocker. And back the other way. Skate the Mavs. Glazer stops at the top of the circle. Weighs his options before giving it to Charlie Lowndes. Sends it along the back wall. 5 seconds to go on the man advantage. Back to the point. Lowndes rips it. Tipped once and covered by Bertram. Just as time expires on the penalty given to Krosky. And Creighton is 3 for 3 with a man down here through 3 penalties in the second. uncharacteristic of the Mavericks, who entered with an average north of 28% on power play chances, 37 power play goals on 131 total tries. As Lowndes, right off of the drop, shouldered down by Bertram. Looking for the tip in front. It nearly had eyes. 100 seconds to go here as Lai brings it back in, skips off the stick of Farnsworth and into the Creighton bench. All three coaches on Creighton's bench are all three former players on this squad. As Sam Hingsberger is back there alongside the former defenseman Chris Clement. A minute and a half to go in the second, and a four-a-side scrum along the back wall is dug out by Cooper. To Swiler, now Pino. Creighton having trouble controlling it on the back end. It's finally cleared out to center by Omaha. Racing in with that one was Krosky, but he would have been offside if he had that puck. But thankfully, he was taken off of it, off the big rig Charlie Lowndes. Back into the zone go the Mavs. Shea sent one on, couldn't be corralled by Bertram. As we are under a minute to play in the second. Skating with it is Lai. Given back to Swiler. His shot on the backhand goes wide. Played up ahead to center ice, where it's collected by Farnsworth. Farnsworth fires, blocker save Bertram, and it's up into the netting with 35 seconds to go in the second. Well, after Creighton started to level up the shot totals, it is now back in a big favor of the Mavericks. 46-14 in favor of UNO. That is 22 shots for the Mavs in the second period, compared to 6 for the Blue Jays. As Glazer fires one blocked once, knocked down the rest of the way by Bertram. For Dirk Schneider at the point. Plays it low with 25 to go. Glazer on the backhand, tried to find Hedquist. Instead, it's Khoury clearing it out to center for Creighton. Dirk Schneider across ice for Glazer with 12. 10 seconds to go. Glazer backhands it on to Bertram. He brushes it forward. Not a great chance there from Blake Glazer, but it couldn't be cleared. Calderon gets it into the skates of Fories, who pins it up against the glass, freezing the rest of play. And we head to the box, head to the bench, and head to the locker room in a 2-2 deadlock here at Holland Ice. We will take a break and be back with you for period number 3. You're listening to the UNO ACHA Mavericks channel on YouTube.
Alright. Well, let's do this one. Just put out an icing on that for where I was trying to go, so now I'm definitely not going there. Where are you rerouting to? I don't know. Probably. Yeah. But they do have some military operations around that. There's a couple of different sites. Broadcaster's Edge.
Welcome back to Holland Ice. Period 3 in a 2-2 tie between the number 9 ranked Omaha Mavericks and the Creighton Blue Jays. Hello once again, everybody. Nate Obrecht alongside Sebastian Cassiopo and Caden McDermott. Period 3 is upon us as we go ahead with our score 2-2. Shots in the second period were 22-6 in favor of the men in black and crimson, bringing that total through 2 periods of play to 46-14 in favor of the Mavericks. It hasn't done a thing for them by way of the score sheet, as Charlie Shea had a goal early in the second period. It was answered with the first career goal from Ethan Cooper, and that has us at our split 2-2. As we begin our third period here at Holland Ice, special shout out to Ty Niles watching this game from Omaha, Nebraska, and another special shout out to Holden Young, the 9-year-old Maverick fan from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, cheering on the Mavericks up in the Rushmore State as Omaha takes this puck to begin the third period. We thank all of you, in addition to those two, for tuning in to the UNOA CHA Mavericks YouTube site tonight. 20 minutes of play left to go as a pass looking for Glazer sprung too far ahead, and Bertram rings it around the back wall. Kept in for a moment by Cam Fories. Banked off the wall by Seed to center ice and kicked ahead. Racing after this one is, oh my goodness, Schumacher. He centered it out front. No one was home, and it's played out to center by Fories. Quickly upon entry, Latcher to the corner. Centering pass cut out by Dirk Schneider, and forward ahead for Wagner. Wagner to man into the offensive zone, tries to dance around Anderson, gets the puck, gets a shot off. It goes over the goaltender Bertram, and he paddles it from a knee on the far side wall to center ice. Tessier can't hang on. Just over a minute into the final period. Creighton 2, Omaha 2. The last goal coming from Ethan Cooper at 6:23 of the second. Omaha wins the puck in the offensive zone off the turnover. Tessier can't keep it as it trickles on net, and Bertram holds a minute and 38 seconds into the final period. Omaha with a record of 24-3 with 2 losses. That includes 2 wins over the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Creighton with 9 wins and 5 losses. 4 of those 9 wins came against Nebraska. That puts Omaha and CU in a tie as we enter the final series of the 2025-26 regular season for the Nebraska Cup. Kraut brings us into the offensive zone. The winner tonight puts themselves in the driver's seat with just a game to go in the cup chase. Lowndes delivers a big body collision to the top scorer, David Calderon, and up the near side come the Mavs. Kraut touches on that one. Back on the puck is Kraut. He fires one off Bertram. Back behind the wall. Picked up by Cooper, but not out. Lowndes rips one on, and Glazer pushed into the back cage. It crashes into the numbers of Bertram, and that bar comes clanging down onto the top of the crease. Excuse me, that was James Shea getting pushed into the back of the netting. It actually happened a week ago against Illinois State down on that same end of the ice as Glazer was pushed into the netting by a Redbird. This time it's a Blue Jay as the Aviarin fouls shot on from Farnsworth right into the red basket of Bertram. Jimmy Shea, the freshman out of Chicago, played for the Sioux Falls Flyers, wins it out to Charlie Shea, who sends one on net right on top of Bertram, who covers up with his 48th save of the contest. Bertram made a season-high 54 saves on September 27th against Dordt. He's got 49 now as Kraut sends one off the pads of Bertram, closing in just 3 saves away from his season high. Off a stanchion, James Shea can't keep that puck. It's Charlie Lowndes darting ahead into the offensive zone, fires right onto the chest of Bertram with an even 50 saves. Omaha and Nebraska met last season for the Nebraska Cup. It was a 6-1 victory for the Cornhuskers. This season, Nebraska is 0-6. They will not have a chance to play for that cup, as Omaha and Creighton doing battle with it here. Pass out in front. Bradley. Rebound chance. It's loose. Sprawling on top of that one is Bertram. Bradley's initial shot went right through the wickets of Bertram, and he just barely got the glove behind his back to stop that puck from completely crossing the red line. It'll be a draw to the left of Bertram 3 minutes into the third. It's one right back to Bradley again. Rebound loose, glove down, not covered, and Tessier fired another one off as it goes to the corner. Back out of the scrum comes Tessier. Loses it in the slot. Camden Lai takes it the other way for Creighton. Lai working ahead, loses it upon entry. Beth can't get it out. Lai chasing after that one, now clears it himself to center. Newman takes it off the skates of Pino. Up ahead to Hedquist. Back to Easton Newman. Drop pass for Hedquist. He had his stick lifted by Lai. With a head of steam comes Tommy Seed. Seed dumps it in and on. Moore scoops that one and will cover with 16:08 to go in the final period. Shots are now 54-14 as Omaha yet to surrender a shot on goal to these Blue Jays. That one must have been tracking wide. Tough to tell from our angle here on the fan side of Holland Ice. Healthy crowd on hand here for the final home series, final regulation series of all, as Glazer sends one on net off the initial chance from Shermer. Both shots covered and swallowed up by Bertram. Now up to 53 saves as he's got a new season high in the save category, does the freshman out of Edina, Joey Bertram. Omaha wins this draw right out to center ice. Grabbed there by Fories, and he'll just dump it in. Collected there by Benji Watts. Knocked down by Hedquist. Turnover. Shermer sends it off the body of a Blue Jay, and it's out to center. Omaha circles back to its own zone. 4.5 minutes gone by here in the third period. 2-2 still our score. As Omaha keeps it in the offensive zone. Fories behind the cage. Shermer steered it back out front. No one was home. It's intercepted by Wheaton. He couldn't find anybody on the clearing attempt. And as Dirk Schneider touches up, icing against Creighton, will prohibit the Blue Jays from making a change as Omaha puts more fresh troops on the ice. Officials directing traffic, trying to get the right Blue Jays on the ice. A tired bunch out there as Omaha keeps it in the zone and keeps them on the ice. Farnsworth, a cross-ice pass for Wagner. Rebound loose in front. Save made off the chance from Fitch. Another drive from Farnsworth goes off the glass. Picked up by Wagner. His pass to Lowndes goes out. And Creighton can get a couple of men replaced on the ice. Farnsworth turns it back in. Crashing down on that puck is Wagner as Bertram holds for the whistle. Creighton can now complete that line change, getting fresh men onto the ice as we are across the 5-minute mark and still tied at 2. Omaha off the draw. That one was tracking wide of the cage. Bertram pounces on it and will do it right where we left it. The face-off on the near side dot in the offensive zone. Fitch opposite David Calderon for Creighton. And Calderon wins it back. Intercepted by Wagner. Played out front. Wagner with a try. Rebound loose. Omaha couldn't get a second shot off as Fitch takes it to the corner. Met there by Anderson. Taken down as Mann gathers it. Mann working to the top of the zone. Fitch stays behind the play. He's slow to get up. Back ahead with it. Skates Calderon. 2-on-1 as a shot goes right off the pipe and in. John Biebler. His first of the game puts the Blue Jays in front. 5 minutes and 43 seconds into the third. Biebler with 8 goals now in his freshman campaign. Out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, played for the Minneapolis Hockey Club in the Midwest League. As he's working back on the puck now, tried to find Calderon at center, knocked out by Beth. To the far side wall. Biebler can't keep it. DeSpirito wins it back for Omaha to Tessier and out. 3-2 our new score thanks to John Biebler, the freshman for the Blue Jays. Beth fires it from the point. Didn't get all the way through. Loose in front. James Shea, rebound chance. Kraut, and both shots go wide. Charlie Shea now behind the cage. Loses it as Biebler takes possession. Clearing it to Schumacher, but not out. Kept in along the line. Great stick from Mason Beth. Played out front. Looking for Tessier, but he couldn't get the shot off. Skipping over his stick. And Mazzarigo clears to center. Omaha back into the zone. Kraut with James Shea right off of the skates of Tommy Seed. He's been everywhere tonight on defense for the Blue Jays, and he gets that one out to Chris Brown. Brown as far as the blue line before Kraut takes it back. Kraut and James Shea once more. Kraut dances around. Shea gets the shot off, and it goes wide. to the far side corner where it can be picked up by Krosky. He lifts it down. And Cam Forey circles into his own zone with 7 minutes gone here in the third. James Shea for Tyler Shermer. To Braden Kraut. Rips it off the glass. Banked right out front. And Forey's gathers on the wall. Taken down by Krosky behind the wall. Gathered by Hedquist and kept. Hedquist down the far side to Shermer behind the cage. Shermer loses it, but is able to kick it out to Dirk Schneider. Tip shot from Glazer off the initial chance from Dirk Schneider goes wide. Glazer back on the puck. Gets it to Shermer. Looking to the middle. Couldn't find Hedquist. Dirk Schneider with a drive. That one sticked aside. 55 saves now for Bertram as it's to the point for Forey's. Forey's through his own legs. To Dirk Schneider. His shot skips once and goes right into the webbing of Bertram. .12:03 to go. The winner of tonight's contest controls its destiny for a portion of the game tomorrow. As in the event of a 1-1 split, it will go down to goal differential, and you've got to remember, though the Blue Jays have played the Huskers 4 times, Omaha is plus 26 in the goal department, and a tip shot from Dirk Schneider goes wide. There's a big hit behind the play, and staying down is a Maverick in the corner. Watts stuck behind the play. The Omaha player still yet to move there in the corner. As Benji Watts delivered that hit, there was no reason for that one. The puck had cleared almost the entire defensive zone. As we are still awaiting to see who the Maverick is in the corner. Hearing word from our excellent producers, it is Tyler Shermer, the sophomore out of Kearney, Nebraska, as a nasty hit away from the play by Benji Watts has brought Shermer to the ice and the trainer's out. Shermer back to his feet, skating off on his own power. He turns and gives lip to the official, saying, "Did you not see that the puck was out at center ice as I took a shoulder from Benji Watts into the corner?" It remains 5-on-5 as Creighton darts back to the offensive zone faceoff dot. Omaha will have to defend here, down a goal with 8 minutes and 23 seconds to play. Or 8:23 gone in the third, 11 minutes and change to go. Creighton sends it right out to center ice. Mazzarigo loses it. Man with a big hit. Stands over Mazzarigo and says, "That's for Shermer." Lai can't hang on. Now he gets it out. To center ice it goes. Camden Lai played ahead. Glove down by Moore off the shot from Swiler. Cam Moore hangs on, just his 13th save of the game. The Maverick crowd has awoken after that uncalled for collision from Watts with Shermer in the corner. It is David Calderon in on the offensive zone draw opposite Ryan Hedquist of the Mavericks. Back to the point line it goes. Shot in from the point, knocked down by Curry in front, and it's deflected up into the netting on the near side. Great to see Tyler Shermer back out on the ice after taking that hit from Watts in the wall. Shermer back out there after a brief breather, wanting to get every minute he can of this rivalry contest. Omaha wins the defensive zone draw. Farnsworth sends it off the glass to Glazer. In on the attack, Blake Glazer fakes a pass, shot wide. Grabbed by the Blue Jays, kept in by Farnsworth. Dumped down low, it's rung around the back wall. Shermer lining up Curry. Curry plays it ahead. He's bodied off by a hit from Ryan Hedquist, one of the smallest men on the Maverick side. It's played forward to Glazer. He's hooked there on the wall by Khoury, and the officials did see that one in the corner. They will get Khoury for hooking as Glazer took Khoury's stick with him. It was wrapped in between his arms and snared on the elbows of the Mavericks and the ACHA's leading point scorer. And off skates Khoury the second time tonight that that Patrick Kroski has skated off for a penalty. He was the last Blue Jay to get a call at 16:11 of the second. He is off here at 9:34 of the third. And immediately off the draw, Creighton gets the clear. Omaha working ahead. It's Ryan the Rocket Hedquist darting into the offensive zone with speed, ramps it off the stick of Anderson to the far corner for Hedquist again. He leaves it behind for Lowndes. Works in, fires off the glass high. Settled down by Hedquist. To Lowndes again. 1:30 to go. Kroski to the box for hooking. Hedquist takes it behind the cage in the offensive zone to Glazer. He rips one, tipped once by Shermer and goes wide. Gathering that puck, Shermer. He's hauled down by Anderson. Arm up of the official as Anderson touches up on that one. And we will have the third 5-on-3 opportunity for the Mavericks in this one. And Omaha will take advantage of this one by calling a timeout. Shermer drawing that penalty after taking the hit that sent him to the ice not long ago, as Anderson works off holding the call on the senior out of Highlands Ranch, Colorado. One of 4 players from the Colorado High School Athletic Association playing here for the Blue Jays today. In fact, Creighton has a lot of guys from out of state. The only thing they don't have is a Nebraska native. Omaha, on the opposite side, 10 guys from the Cornhusker State, a healthy 6 from Minnesota, the 4 Sioux City guys, Nate Mitchell in Arizona, Jimmy Shea from Chicago, and of course, South Dakota's own Easton Mesher. Just past the 10-minute mark of period 3. And at 10:25, Anderson heads off, holding the call. It is the third 5-on-3 for the game. It is the longest 5-on-3 opportunity the Mavs have had. 67 seconds now and ticking away as Lowndes starts the attack. Hedquist to Lowndes, back for Glazer, rips one wide. Omaha will have to track this in its own end as it rings around the back wall. 50 more seconds, then Kroski's let out, and Omaha will have another 90 seconds of 5-on-3. Of 50 seconds, as Hedquist to Lowndes, Glazer, Shermer, and it's wide of the cage. Picking up his rebound is Shermer. Lowndes back to Glazer. Shermer again. Shot saved from Bertram. Glove down and kept in by Charlie Lowndes. The big rig mans his spot on the blue line. Winding up and firing. It's loose somewhere along the top of the crease. No, it bounced out to the corner. Bertram didn't know where it was after making the initial stop. Glazer's got it to Lowndes. Shot saved. Kick to the near wall. 10 seconds to go with 5-on-3. Hedquist centers it. Cleared out by Creighton. David Calderon sends it the length of the ice. Lowndes works in. Back out of the box. Skates as Glazer takes it in. Leaving it for Lowndes. The two switch places. Lowndes fires. Shot blocked again by Seed in front. 40 seconds to go on a 5-on-4. Omaha 0 for 3 on 5-on-3s. They are 0 for 4 so far today with the man advantage. As Glazer circles the zone. Holds, fires, knocked down by Forey's in front. Friendly fire there from the Mavs, and it springs a 2-on-1 for CU. Back the other way comes Latcher. Stops and forced off the puck by Hedquist, who steers it quickly to Lowndes. 15 seconds to go for the Mavs on the fourth power play opportunity of the game. Lowndes darts ahead. Holding backhand try. Couldn't find anyone at center. 3 seconds and 2 is out of the box. Skates Anderson back to full force are the Blue Jays as Omaha with the puck still. Shea fires into the breadbasket of Bertram, who covers and holds with his 59th save, a season high for the freshman. Omaha now 0 for 5 when being a man up here in this one. They ring it around the back wall. Creighton takes possession. DeSpirito with a stop, but it gets past him and is flicked up into the Maverick bench by Mason Beff with 7 minutes and 15 seconds to play. Your score 3-2, the only tally of the third coming from Creighton's John Biebler with an assist to David Calderon. That has us at our 3-2 score. We entered the third 2-2 tied as Omaha can't keep possession in the offensive zone. It's back out for Biebler. Biebler right into the shin pads of Mason Beff. Off of him, Pino battling with it in the corner, gets it to Schumacher. Back for Biebler. Pino in front, and he couldn't get the shot off. Racing the other way with it is Jimmy Shea. Shea tried to go through the legs. He's played off the puck. Kraut couldn't center it. Anderson gains possession for CU. Tried to find Schumacher. It's through his skates. Charlie Shea keeps it in the zone. Taken down. Braden Kraut circles behind the cage. There's another penalty coming up on Creighton. Shot right off the bar. It looked like it hit the back bar. Right there on the doorstep was Jim Casper, who waved it off, saying it caught the red iron. And as Creighton touches up on that, whistle blows. It's Krosky to the box once more, his third penalty of the game, second of this period. And Omaha will get its fifth power play opportunity of the contest. Krosky this time for tripping. As Creighton will start with the puck on the sixth penalty kill of the game. Creighton entered an even 80% on the man with a man down this season, 36 of 45. Total time shorthanded, they were able to kill the penalty. Wagner works into the offensive zone for Omaha on the sixth chance of the game. Gets it out to the top of the zone for Beff, now to man. Back to Mason Beff. Cross ice pass for Tessier, tipped off a Blue Jay stick. Beff scrambles and dumps it low for Carson Fitch. Played around to Tessier. Back to the blue line. Beff shoots it through the sticks. It's tipped wide. Man leaves it in the corner. Fitch now to Mason Beff, sophomore out of Hastings, Minnesota. Tomahawks, fans on the shot. Left it for Tessier. Hard stick. Can't beat Tommy Seed. Board pass to himself, and Seed works into the offensive zone. Shot well wide of the cage. Rings around the back wall, and with speed comes Carson Fitch. Rushed on ahead for Wagner, who was not ready for that pass. Gloved down by Tessier and kept in along the blue line. Great defensive play from the sophomore. Wagner takes it. Looking for Mann on the back wall. Couldn't find him cleanly. Mann takes it below the goal line. To Fitch. Looking out high. Instead, it's to the far side for Tessier. Omaha will get some fresh troops on with 30 seconds to go on the power play, and Creighton sends it to center. Lowndes takes this one. Waits for a moment as Omaha goes off for a change. Under 20 seconds to go on the power play. Lowndes pass too far ahead for Blake Glazer, and it'll go for icing with 14 seconds on the man advantage and 4:33 to play in the third. Just barely too far for the outstretched stick of freshman Blake Glazer. And the draw comes all the way down on the icing. Omaha unable to change. Not a problem. They got fresh troops out. With 12 seconds to go on the power play. Hedquist in to take it. He wins. Wins it back to Lowndes. Under 10 to go. Omaha needs to push to get one last shot off. Hedquist racing ahead. Drags the puck around Anderson. Freed of the box is Kroschke for the third straight time. Back to full strength are the Blue Jays for the sixth straight time. And a log jam along the wall. One out by Creighton. Anderson takes the puck for the Blue Jays. Chipped by Omaha. Newman. Played up ahead to Glazer. To Shermer. He rips one right into the chest. Loose in front. Shermer was laying on that puck. Stood up and shot it right into Bertram, who covers and holds. Shots are 64-17 in favor of the Crimson and Black. That's 3 shots for the Blue Jays this period, compared to 18 for Omaha. Omaha has put a ton of shots on the freshman Joey Bertram out of the Edina Hornets in the Minnesota State High School League, but haven't been able to find much success as James Shea rips one right into the breadbasket once more. They seem to be hitting the script on the Creighton logo a ton of times on Bertram here, not really testing the shelves of the cage, as we like to call them, the upper quadrants and lower corners of the frame. As with 3.5 minutes to go, Omaha trailing by a goal with the puck in the offensive zone. Sieve takes it and lifts it to center ice. Will not be far enough for icing as Kraut gains possession in the defensive zone. Braden Kraut works ahead with speed. Dances around Latcher, but Latcher with a good stick forces Kraut free of the puck right along the blue line. James Shea forced to dump it the rest of the way in. Anderson hangs on to that one. Gloved down along the line by Farnsworth and played out further to Swiler. Swiler off the pads of Moore with a save, his 4th of the period. Diving for that one was Moore, but it goes behind the cage to Charlie Shea. Shea works into the offensive zone. Shea from the backhand. Turned toward the front. It was loose for a second, but cleared by the Blue Jay defense. 2 minutes and 40 seconds to go in this one. Farnsworth takes it along the blue line. Skates around one man and works in. Farnsworth drives wide, taken down by Swiler, leaves it in front, and as Creighton touches up, they will be on the penalty kill again. And another extra whack there to Kraut, as the Blue Jays will skate off again. This time, it is Tommy Sieve, another Edina native, played in the Junior Gold League. Skating off for hooking. It will bring about a Creighton timeout as Sieve is off for hooking, the 7th penalty taken by the Blue Jays in this game. The 4th of this period after 3 in the second and none through the first 20 minutes of play. The call comes at 17:32 of the third period, and it is getting to be desperation time for these Omaha Mavericks. They have dominated the shot board. They have really held the puck in the Blue Jay zone for much of the 57.5 minutes of play so far through game 1. But they have not been able to beat Joey Bertram on 63 shots on goal. Excellent night in net for the man from Edina. But 2 minutes and 28 seconds to work with for the Mavs in the game. Another fresh 2 minutes on the power play, their 8th of the game. Their 7th of the game. and the fans start to roar to life. Haven't had much to cheer about this period, but Charlie Lowndes takes it and gets set up on the offensive attack on the 7th power play chance of the game. Glazer rips it in again! Blake Glazer ties it up 12 seconds into the power play! Oh, just when you needed him. It's the man of the hour, Blake Glazer. His nation-leading 38th goal to match 38 assists for 76 points. And he's got them all tied. The 66th shot attempt of the game for Omaha. And finally, they beat Bertram in the third. 17:44 of the third, and we are deadlocked once more. Give Lowndes and Shermer the assist as Glazer quickly back in. Rips it again, and it's wide. Getting its hip dry was Bertram as Glazer narrowly another chance there as we are under 2 minutes to go. What a contest. We skated to a 1-1 tie at the end of 1, a 2-2 tie at the end of 2. Creighton led for much of this third period thanks to the goal from John Biebler, but Blake Glazer had more to say about that one as he's on the puck now, leaving it behind the cage. Glazer actually reffed the Nebraska Cup game last season between Omaha and Lincoln. Down at the ice box, he was the linesman in that game. Didn't have any idea he would be playing for the ACHA Mavericks a year later and leading the nation in goals, assists, and points. As an offense, as a puck was tipped into the Maverick bench, under 100 seconds to go in the contest. We are still tied at 3, and we'll head to a 5-on-5 or a 5-minute 3-on-3 overtime, barring no more goals scored in this one as Carson Fitch skates off. Possibly a makeup call after the first 4 of this period went the Blue Jays' way. Now the Mavericks get a man in the box. 2 minutes for roughing. Goes Fitch, and all eyes now are on Cameron Moore, the sophomore. This is his first game played against Creighton. He was on the roster a year ago, but senior last year, Kyle Wernley, got both starts. His shooting this one is Schumacher. Blocked out down by Charlie Lowndes. Cross-ice pass for Glazer. Lowndes and Glazer connected on the Mavericks game-tying goal. Glazer sends this one airmailed back into the Mavericks defensive end with a minute to play. A minute 30 to go on the Fitch penalty as Hedquist skips it on net to Bertram. The call on Fitch at 8:30 of period number 3. Racing ahead with that one is Latcher. Captain of this Creighton team, has not beaten the Mavs in 2 straight seasons, 4 straight attempts. Fories can't keep it. Back out to the point for Seed. He took the penalty that gave the Mavs the equalizing opportunity. Fories kicked it to center. Seed quickly back in. Holds, fires, and it's in! It's in! Creighton puts this one up over the shoulders of Cameron Moore, scoring their 4th power play goal of the game. And on the celebration, Tommy Seed is down to a knee in the front of the Creighton bench. That is a huge loss for tomorrow if Seed can't continue. But he's got the game go-ahead goal with just 20 seconds to play and a dagger into the hearts of these Maverick fans here in attendance.
Go, Chuck! Here you go, Brain.
Steve on the power play. 15 seconds to work with, and Moore goes to the bench. Now down to 10 seconds as Forey starts ahead. Desperate come the Mavs. Forey's across the blue line, shot in with 4 and 3. One last chance for James Shea is cleared out by Creighton. And the Blue Jays skate to a victory in Game 1. With the narrow 1-goal defeat, Creighton will now need 25 goals in the game tomorrow to take home the Nebraska Cup. It is still a bittersweet moment for these Omaha Mavericks, who see their 8-game winning streak come to a close at the hands of these Blue Jays, and the 4-game streak of wins over their crosstown rival is now closed, as the season series goes to 4-3, still in favor of the Mavs, and we will have our 8th meeting and the senior night finale for these Omaha Mavericks right back here at Holland Ice at 9:30 p.m. We will also be awarding the Nebraska Cup winner, so make sure you tune in with us on the UNO ACHA Mavericks YouTube channel. For Sebastian Cassiopo and Caden McDermott, I've been Nate Obrick. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We'll be right back with you tomorrow. As always, have a great night.